Welcome to Built Through Time. Today we're embarking on a unique exploration of an American landmark that's instantly recognized worldwide, the White House.
hmm
But peel back its iconic image, and you'll discover a history far more dynamic, filled with surprising facts and profound, often untold stories.
That's absolutely right. For many, the White House exists as, well, a static symbol, almost frozen in time.
Yeah, just sort of.
There. Exactly. Our mission today is to peel back those layers, to uncover the living truth behind its initial vision, its very construction, the powerful transformations it's undergone, and maybe most importantly, the incredibly diverse hands that quite literally built it from the ground up.
Right.
It's a narrative far richer and certainly more complex than most of us realize at first glance.
So let's really unpack this. The very blueprint of the White House began not with modesty, but with an almost audacious vision. Architect Pierre-Charles L'Enfant originally envisioned something truly enormous, a sprawling presidential palace for the burgeoning capital of Washington, D.C. Can you paint a picture of just how grand that initial idea was?
Oh, it's a fascinating starting point because it really sets the stage for, well, the practicalities that followed. L'Enfant's initial concept was huge, monumental, almost European in scale.
Of Versailles on the Potomac?
Sort of.
Yeah.
He saw it as the centerpiece of this grand, sweeping city plan he had. But the intriguing detail here is how quickly that initial grandeur had to be scaled back.
Okay.
Architects James Hoban and Benjamin Henry Latrobe were the ones who kind of brought that vision down to earth.
Right, made it more manageable.
Exactly. And despite being a smaller, more humble home compared to L'Enfant's discarded dreams, the White House was still, for its era, the largest house in the new nation.
Really? The largest?
Yeah, it actually held that title for decades, right up until the Gilded Age after the Civil War, when you start seeing structures like the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina.
Huh?
So it was definitely a compromise between soaring ambition and, practical reality.
And its architectural inspirations, they weren't purely American, were they? It sounds like it has a truly international pedigree.
Oh, definitely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you see that the White House was always a global design collaboration right from its earliest form.
How so?
Well, Hoban, the primary architect, he was Irish-born.
Yeah.
And he famously modeled his design on Dublin's Leinster House.
Leinster House. That's the Irish Parliament now, isn't
That's
it?
the one. And later, when additions like the elegant elliptical south portico were added in 1824, again under Hoban's supervision, they seemed to mirror the striking Château de Rastignac in southwest France.
Interesting. So French influence, too.
Exactly. So this symbol of American democracy has designed DNA from across the Atlantic. It's really a testament to the cross-cultural influences shaping the young nation.
What's truly surprising, maybe even a little ironic, is that President George Washington, he meticulously selected Hoban's plans, oversaw the expansion, pushed for details like the grand reception room and plasters.
He was very involved.
But he never actually lived in the White House, did he?
No, he didn't. And that's a powerful reminder of just how immense and time-consuming this whole project was.
Right, building a capital city from scratch.
Imagine his dedication to establishing the federal city and its core buildings, only to see its completion from afar. It really underscores the long, arduous process.
So who was first?
It was America's second president, John Adams, who finally moved in with his wife Abigail in 1800.
Okay, Adams.
And even then, it was notoriously unfinished. Abigail Adams, in her famous letters, she complained about the damp plaster, the lack of bells to summon servants.
Not quite move-in ready.
Not at all. She even mentioned having to hang laundry in the East Room, a far cry from the majestic image we hold today.
Wow, that really paints a vivid picture of the early days. Brings a human element to it.
It really does.
Now, shifting from the grand designs, one of the most vital yet often critically overlooked aspects of the White House's construction is the workforce itself, the people who actually built it.
Yes.
This wasn't just a project built by skilled craftsmen brought over from Europe, was it?
No, not at all. And this is truly where the story becomes deeply complex and profoundly important.
Okay.
The question of who truly built this symbol of American democracy leads us to a remarkably diverse and often challenging truth. The very land the White House sits on was acquired from Maryland and Virginia.
Slave states at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
States where enslavement was deeply entrenched. And the historic payroll reports from the era reveal that a significant portion of the workforce were African Americans, some free, but many, many enslaved.
Right, alongside other workers.
Yes, they worked side by side with white laborers, specialized Scottish stoneworkers, and a wave of Irish and Italian immigrants. It was a real melting pot of backgrounds, skills, and crucially social standings, all contributing to this singular monumental effort.
It's easy to picture anonymous laborers, but you mentioned skilled positions earlier. Can you elaborate on the incredible range of tasks these individuals, particularly the enslaved people, performed?
Absolutely. Their contributions were incredibly broad and, frankly, indispensable. They were involved in literally every stage, right from the very beginning.
Like what specifically?
Well, they cleared the land, felling massive trees to prepare the site. They quarried the distinctive gray-colored sandstone from Aquia, Virginia, which was back-breaking, dangerous work,
I can only imagine.
and transported those heavy blocks to the site. They dug the footings, laid the foundational stones, and fired the bricks for the interior walls, a process needing immense heat and precision.
So heavy labor, foundational work.
Yes, but not just that. They weren't only general laborers. Records show they held skilled positions, too. For instance, James Hoban, the architect himself,
Yeah.
he actually hired out 4 of his own enslaved individuals, Ben, Daniel, Harry, and Peter, as highly skilled carpenters.
Really? Carpenters.
Skilled carpenters. One of them, incredibly, earned almost as much as the free white carpenters for a time.
Wow.
Though later, in 1797, due to tight funds and rising wages for white apprentices, the commissioners ordered that no Negro carpenters or apprentices be hired at either of the public buildings, which really speaks to the economic and social complexities.
Right, the pressures on their wages despite their skill.
Exactly.
So these weren't just unnamed figures in historical footnotes. We actually have some names, some individual identities emerging from these records. That must be incredibly powerful.
It truly is, and it's a constant effort for historians to piece together these fragmented lives. While it's certainly difficult to trace comprehensively, some names do surface.
Like who?
We see names like Jacob and Orsten, who were hired out by a man named George Fenwick, or Charles, David, Gabe, Henry, Sylvester, Nace, and Gerard, hired out by the Brent sisters. There's even a unique record of an enslaved woman, Catherine Green, listed in the payrolls, though her specific tasks remain less clear.
And how did the system work, the payment?
Their owners were paid a wage for their labor. The enslaved workers themselves typically received housing, 2 meals a day, and basic medical care from the commissioners. It's a stark reminder of the dehumanizing system they were caught within.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
It is. This isn't just a historical detail. It's the profound, uncomfortable truth at the very foundation of this symbol. The White House, intended to embody freedom and democracy, was quite literally built brick by brick, stone by stone, by the hands of enslaved individuals.
It forces you to confront that paradox, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It forces us to confront the inherent paradox of early American ideals and reminds us that symbols often carry these hidden, complex legacies.
Beyond enslaved labor, which clearly played such a foundational role, what other diverse contributions were absolutely essential to bringing this massive structure to life?
Well, the collaborative effort extended far beyond that. The Scottish stoneworkers, for instance, were absolutely crucial.
The stoneworkers, right, what did they do?
These were highly skilled artisans. They were responsible for raising those massive sandstone walls and for carving the incredibly intricate details that still adorn the building today.
Like the carvings above the entrance.
Exactly. Like the beautiful rose and garland ornaments above the north entrance and the delicate scalloped patterns beneath window pediments. Their precision and artistry really defined the exterior aesthetics.
Okay.
Then you had the Irish and Italian immigrants who performed vital brickwork for the interior walls and the plastering, which would have been a huge undertaking for every single room.
Makes sense.
And later, Italian artisans came back to carve the decorative stonework on the magnificent porticos.
So a real international effort.
It was a truly monumental undertaking, bringing together people from incredibly varied backgrounds, often under arduous and challenging conditions, all converging on this single ambitious project.
The White House we walk through or see in pictures today isn't the original 1800 structure, though. It's been through so much, starting with a truly fiery encounter during the War of 1812.
Indeed. It's really a testament to resilience that it stands at all. In 1814, as an act of retaliation for the United States burning Parliament buildings up in Ontario, Canada.
Right, the burning of York.
Precisely. The British Army marched into Washington, D.C., and systematically set fire to much of the city, including the White House.
How bad was the damage?
The interior was completely gutted, destroyed, and the exterior walls were severely charred. It was such a significant event that President James Madison and his wife Dolly had to live in the Octagon House across the city during the entire recovery.
Wow, a devastating blow.
Absolutely, to the young nation's capital.
And the rebuilding effort after such a catastrophe, how quickly did that happen? Who led it?
It was a remarkable feat of national determination, really. Hoban, the original architect.
He came back.
He did. He was immediately brought back to lead the reconstruction. He worked tirelessly, and by 1817, the mansion was habitable once more, allowing President James Monroe to move in.
That's pretty quick, considering.
It was. To speed things up this time, Hoban even used timber framing instead of brick for some of the interior walls.
Ah, okay.
And, critically, enslaved labor was once again utilized in this reconstruction phase.
Still, even then.
Yes, underscoring their continuous foundational role in the physical history of the building, not just its initial creation.
But the 1814 fire wasn't the last time the White House would face a major blaze, was it?
No, it wasn't. Decades later, in 1929, on Christmas Eve of all times,
Oh, wow.
a significant electrical fire broke out in the West Wing, gutting the executive offices. This happened shortly after the start of the Great Depression, too, adding another layer of challenge.
They had timing.
Very. But Congress approved emergency funds, President Herbert Hoover oversaw the repairs, and impressively, his staff were able to move back into the rebuilt offices within months by April 1930.
Shows how vital it was.
Exactly. Its functionality was critical, even during times of national crisis.
Yet, perhaps the most dramatic structural transformation, the one that truly reshaped the very bones of the building, came much later. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, what's truly striking here is the massive 1948 to 1952 renovation under President Harry S. Truman.
Truman, what happened?
Well, after 150 years of continuous use, the building's wooden support beams and even its exterior load-bearing walls were, well, they were failing.
Yeah.
They were in such a state of disrepair that engineers declared the entire structure unsafe.
Unsafe. The White House.
Unsafe and at imminent risk of collapse. It was a shocking revelation for such an iconic building.
I'll say. So what did Truman do?
He made the drastic decision, gutted the entire interior, installed a completely new steel support framework and a concrete foundation.
The whole thing just kept the outer wall?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Imagine a building that looked so solid, so eternal, was literally crumbling from within. During this huge overhaul, the Trumans themselves lived across the street at Blair House.
Blair House, right.
This profound renovation changed the executive mansion more dramatically and fundamentally than even the 1814 fire had, at least structurally.
Wow.
It essentially rebuilt the interior, ensuring its structural integrity for generations to come.
It also adapted to its occupants in other profound ways, didn't it? Beyond just structural integrity, the building evolved to serve the needs of the people living there.
That's a crucial point. It highlights how even monumental symbols are shaped by human needs. For instance, the original builders certainly didn't anticipate a president with a disability.
You mean FDR?
Exactly. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It wasn't until he took office in 1933, living with polio-induced paralysis, that the White House was extensively remodeled to be wheelchair accessible.
Ramps, elevators?
Ramps, wider doorways, lifts, yes. He even added a heated indoor swimming pool in the West Terrace for his therapy.
A pool. Where is that now?
Well, interestingly, that pool area was later converted into the bustling press briefing room in 1970.
No kidding. So the press room used to be a pool.
That's right. These adaptations remind us that the White House isn't just a static museum. It's a functional home and workplace that continually evolves.
Most people instinctively assume the White House has always been white and always been called the White House. But that's another one of those surprising facts, isn't it?
It really is. And it prompts us to consider, how does a building's very identity evolve over time? The White House, at its core, is made of gray aquea sandstone.
Gray, not white.
Gray sandstone, yeah, with some red Seneca sandstone used for the porticos. It wasn't actually painted white specifically to cover the scorch marks in the 1814 British fires,
Yeah.
though that certainly helped after the Reconstruction.
So why was it painted white originally?
Well, it was first whitewashed way back in 1798. This was a protective coating for the porous stone, a mixture of rice glue, casein, and lead, applied to shield it from the elements.
Ah, protection. Makes sense.
And remarkably, if you look closely today, scorch marks are still visible in areas where they've been intentionally left uncovered during restorations.
Really? Like little reminders?
Exactly. ghostly reminders of its fiery past. And just to give you a sense of scale, it takes a staggering 570 gallons of paint to cover the entire building.
570 gallons, wow. And its very name, when did it officially become the White House?
Good question. The building has several nicknames throughout its early history, which kind of reflects how its identity was still forming.
Like what?
Dolly Madison, ever with a flair for the dramatic, reputedly called it the President's Castle.
President's Castle, I like that.
Right. Others refer to it more formally as the President's Palace, the President's House, or simply the Executive Mansion.
Executive Mansion sounds very official.
It does. The name White House didn't actually become official until 1901.
1901, who made it official?
President Theodore Roosevelt. He formally adopted it, cementing the name we all know today.
Teddy Roosevelt, okay.
Yeah, that formal designation marked a symbolic moment, perhaps signaling a shift from just a grand house to a more defined national symbol.
So, after tracing its origins, the human hands that built it, its dramatic transformations, what does all of this rich, complex history mean for the White House as it stands today?
It means that the White House is far more than just a building. It's a living, breathing monument, a historical palimpsest, really.
Layers upon layers of history.
Exactly. It's a staggering structure encompassing approximately 55,000 square feet with 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, 6 levels.
The numbers are mind-boggling.
They are. Imagine, within its walls you'd find 412 doors, 147 windows, 28 fireplaces, 8 staircases, and 3 elevators.
Just massive.
And over the years, presidents haven't just occupied it, they've made it their own, adding truly unique features that reflect their personalities of the times.
Like what kind of features?
Oh, everything from a bowling alley.
A bowling alley,
Yeah.
seriously.
And a family movie theater, a music room, a dedicated florist, even a chocolate shop.
A chocolate shop. Okay, now I'm jealous.
Right. It's continuously shaped, not just by grand architectural plans or historical disasters,
Right.
but by the myriad lives of the people who have lived and worked within its walls, adapting to each era's unique demands and quirks.
So as we reflect on the White House today, we understand it's not just an unchanging symbol of power and democracy. It's this complex, evolving entity, shaped by grand visions, tempered by reality, by unforeseen challenges like fires, and most profoundly, by the varied, often challenging lives of the people who both built it and inhabited it. It carries stories of aspiration, compromise, and, yes, paradox.
And that leads us to a crucial thought for you, our listener. A question, really.
Yeah.
When we look at any iconic structure around us, whether it's a famous monument, a historical building in your town, or even a local landmark, how much of its true story are we missing? The human effort, the often uncomfortable historical context, the hidden truths. How much slips by?
That's a powerful question.
What more profound insights could we unlock? What deeper understanding could we achieve if we truly took the time to explore the full, multifaceted narrative behind the symbols we often take for granted?
Something to think about, definitely. If you like and want to hear more of these discussions, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you the next episode of Built Through Time.